All right, welcome. Freya Mortensen here from Free to Be You Coaching. Today I am talking to you about being a people pleaser. And where does this stem from? And why do we people please? And what's the opposite of people pleasing? How to overcome being a people pleaser? The first step to making changes in anything in your life is to gain an awareness. Have an understanding of why you do the things you do. And so for some people, being a people pleaser means, hey, I just like to make other people happy. If other people are happy, then I'm happy. However, what happens here, years of being a people pleaser, is not sustainable. After a while, you are not meeting your own needs. Your focus is always solely on the needs of others. That is a prime characteristic of being a people pleaser, where you are always focused on the needs of others. And so where this comes from, being a people pleaser, you're focusing on getting external validation. Getting external validation from people in your life. If I do something nice for you, you are going to like me. You are going to approve of me, which is why being a people pleaser is a form of control. And most people don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear that me being a people pleaser is actually manipulating other people to like me. You think that you're in control of how other people view me. Being a people pleaser, am I in control of whether or not people are going to like me? I'm being a people pleaser because one, I want to avoid conflict. I want to have other people approve of me, which is this external validation. My worth is now being defined by what other people think about me. And so by being a people pleaser, this defines my worth. I do things for other people. I never say no. I'm always there for them. I'm always on call. I have no boundaries. The opposite of being a people pleaser is somebody who has boundaries. Now, the reason why there are no boundaries is because people pleasing is also a trauma response. Yes, it's also a trauma response. Because in order to avoid conflict, which stems from years of trauma, chaotic environments, argumentative, unhealthy conflict, you're going to avoid conflict altogether. This is very multi-layered, as you can tell already. There's a lot going on with the reason why people are engaging in this people-pleasing behavior is to avoid conflict and to have a sense of control, which is a false sense of control. And the thing is that we are not in control of whether or not someone likes us. We are not in control over whether somebody is happy with us or if someone is upset with us. That is not in our control. However, it is a false perception, being a people pleaser, that we are in control over the way people think about us. But the truth is that we are not. This is a very important lesson that we have to know. And many of us will say, yeah, I know, I'm not in control if somebody likes me or not. However, it takes a while to really take that awareness for truth and put it into practice here. And the reason why people pleasers don't have boundaries is because when we set a boundary, it has the potential to create some conflict. Yes, it does. And there is such a thing as healthy conflict. And we cannot be avoiding all conflict, because if we avoid all conflict, we also avoid opportunities for personal growth. There is unhealthy conflict that is not in our best interest. And you can watch other videos that I've done that talk about unhealthy conflict versus healthy conflict. And when we set a boundary with someone, it's a loving action. A boundary is an opportunity to actually strengthen the relationship. It's an opportunity for you to tell the person your needs, for the other person to come and meet you halfway and say, I understand and I respect that. And I respect your needs. Even if there is a little bit of conflict that has to go on to get to that point, it's healthy. And we work on breaking down our trauma response by being a people pleaser. Now, this external validation, we are defining our self-worth on what other people think about us. So if I just avoid all this conflict over here, then I can keep the peace and people are happy with me. And if people are happy with me, then I'm a good person because I define my self-worth based on what other people think about me. Now, there is a fear of rejection that goes along here. There's a fear of abandonment. If I express my needs by setting boundaries, maybe people won't like me. Maybe people are going to leave me. And that may happen. This may be the case. Because when we are engaging in people-pleasing behavior, you are a giver. You are constantly giving, giving, giving. And you know what givers attract? When you're a giver, you attract takers. You attract takers. And so when you stop being a giver, what happens to those takers? They don't show up anymore because they know you're not a giver. And this is where the balance needs to harmonize itself. You don't want to be a people pleaser, but you do want to be compassionate, right? You do still want to hold compassion. You still want to hold compassion for yourself and others, and it's that compassion for self that is unbalanced. It is that compassion for self that is lacking, and that is why we are striving for external validation to define our worth. And so instead of looking to external, to validate ourselves externally by people pleasing, we have to go in and set boundaries. And guess what? What comes first, self-worth or setting boundaries? Setting boundaries. When you set a boundary, it empowers you. It's an empowering, loving action. And so by setting boundaries, you increase your self-worth. And the reason why we don't set boundaries is because we're afraid. We don't want to engage in conflict. So this is where the awareness needs to happen, that you have to get yourself out into action. You have to take the action of setting boundaries. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to feel very foreign. It may create some conflict, but that is you getting outside of your comfort zone. You're in your comfort zone being a people pleaser. It's very comfortable there. You know what to expect. You know what happens. However, like I said, it's not sustainable. You don't experience any personal growth being a people pleaser. You have to step outside of your comfort zone by setting boundaries. I know it feels uncomfortable, but that's where your personal growth happens. That's where you're going to experience your own self-compassion. That's where you're going to experience your own self-worth is going to grow and grow, and your empowerment is going to grow and grow. You're going to be able to overcome these traumatic responses. Instead of controlling everything, you're going to be able to connect. You're going to be able to connect with yourself. You're going to be able to learn. You're going to be able to become curious. You're going to go into the intention to learn. Oh, you can't see that. Let me put it down here a little bit. The intention to learn and to connect. This is where you want to shift in out of the controlling by being a people pleaser, out of the protection to avoid conflict, and into an intention to learn and connect with your inner child, with your inner self, with your inner needs, with your self-compassion through setting boundaries. That's all I got for now, guys. If you want some more information, if you need help with this, I am here offering a wonderful package for anyone that is interested to learn boundaries, to learn assertive communication, to understand what your trauma responses are, to be a people pleaser no more. I am here to assist you. Please reach out, send me a message, and I'll be in touch about next steps. Cheers.